Are you here today?
It's important to be here today. The voice of the veterans needs to be heard. This is an absolute abuse and misuse and every other abusive term I can think of, use of our troops in this Iraq war.
There are those who say that we've got to stay to finish the job and that they need to stay, that bringing them home would be a worse abuse of the troops. How do you answer that?
This is a job that should have never been started in the first place. I think it's very interesting on the headlines yesterday, the Columbus Dispatch headlines. Information was ignored that if we went to war in Iraq, that what would result is precisely what's happening now, that we would have a civil war, that Iran would be ascendant. George Bush, Dick Cheney, co-wrote, the neocons decided they wanted to have this war because it was a great chance for George to dance around on an aircraft carrier on a mission accomplished. This war is a travesty, it is a national sin, it's a disgrace.
Our soldiers getting killed, Iraqis, innocent Iraqis getting killed.
And how do we make peace in the Middle East?
I think, honestly, we not only need to make peace in the Middle East, we need to have real reconstruction. We need to restore our standing in the world, and I think the one way we could do that is to remove an illegitimate administration from office and all of his appointments. We need to just remove him for leading our nation into war on a lie. We need to restore our standing in the world, and that might be a wonderful first step. None of them were elected legitimately, and I can tell you that. It's an illegitimate administration that basically pulled a coup on the American people and started an illegal war for oil resources. And we need a green revolution right now in this country. We need our soldiers home, and we need jobs for them when they come back, and we need to get off of foreign oil.
What's your name, and why are you here today?
My name is Joseph Murphy, and I wanted to help demonstrate the people's desire in this country to end this illegal and criminal war that we're engaged in.
And have you ever been to war in the past?
Well, I was in the Second World War, and unfortunately I don't think there's no similarity, because in that war we were attacked. In this war we attacked a country, namely Iraq, which has never done anything to this country in the history of the world. We didn't like Saddam Hussein perhaps, but Saddam Hussein has never done anything directly against this country. So we had absolutely no excuse to unilaterally go in there and invade his country. We didn't even do it under color of law. We didn't have the backing of the United Nations. We simply attacked without provocation.
And why is it important for people to come out here today and show the voice of opposition?
I think it's important for people to show their opposition every opportunity that's presented to them, because I think from what we read that an overwhelming majority of people in this country have finally seen the light and have ascertained that we shouldn't be involved in Iraq in an illegal war.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Are you from Ohio?
Yes. Born and raised.
Alright. So how did you hear about this event today?
Circleville Herald actually had it in the paper last month.
Really?
We've been saving up gas money ever since.
So what made you want to come out here today?
Well, it's something I very strongly believe in, and I think that we need to get out of Iraq, and I think that we need more stuff like this.
Yeah, there's not enough, and if there is, you never hear about it. So, no one in particular, it's people who are here, man, they're inspiration.
So why do you think it's important for people to come out and show opposition to the war?
Because it's important that people know that it's not just one or two people that's against the war. This is actually growing, and we need to stop.
If you don't talk, no one's going to know. No one's going to know that there's others out there that are just going to stay closed in with their own opinions, and we need to express them.
Alright, and why do you think these are important events today? What do you think this coming out on Memorial Day weekend with a couple soldiers is going to do anything for the world?
Well, certainly people will be able to share their thoughts on this subject, and it certainly is a case we're able to make a stand, make a statement that we are against this war, but we're not against the men and women who serve in uniform.
Alright.
Don't you cry me no tears. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. I'm a veteran soldier. I'm a veteran soldier. And that's all I want to be. And that's all I want to be. It's all the sign on the wall. It's all the sign on the wall. Uncle Sam is wanting me. Uncle Sam is wanting me.
Alright, and what do you think about how we're going to achieve peace in the Middle East?
Get out! Well, we need to take the U.S. military out. That would certainly have a lot to do with achieving peace in the Middle East.
And what do you
say? If we wasn't there destroying people's homes and going into people's, breaking down people's doors at midnight.
Political leaders in Congress to support the prompt withdrawal of all military forces and bases in Iraq. Staying in Iraq will not work and is not worth the price. It is time for the U.S. troops to come home.
Thank you, soldiers. We appreciate your service to this country. And now I'm going to introduce to you Tiffany Wainzer. Tiffany is an active duty Army wife whose husband is currently serving in Iraq. Tiffany is going to read a prayer and make a statement to conclude our program today.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Eternal God, save us from weak resignation to violence. Teach us that restraint is the highest expression of power, that thoughtfulness and tenderness are marks of the strong. Help us to love our enemies, not by counting their sins, but by remembering our own. And may we never for a moment forget that they are fed by the same food, hurt by the same weapons, have children for whom they have the same high hopes as we do. Grant us the ability to find joy and strength, not in the strident call to arms, to grasp our fellow creatures in the striving for justice and truth. I would like to dedicate this poem to Sergeant Robert B. Thrasher, 4th Brigade Combat Team, 212 Cav, 1st Cavalry Division, Baghdad, Iraq. He was killed by sniper fire back in February. And also to all the innocent men, women, and children who have lost their lives in this unnecessary war.
And now we conclude our program, and we'd like to thank you all for coming out and taking the time today to really actively support our troops. Thank you.
Bring the troops home! 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 Bring the troops home!
Bring the troops
home!
Bring the troops
home!
Bring the troops home! Bring the troops home! Bring the troops home! Bring the troops home! Bring the troops home! Bring the troops
home!
Bring the troops
home!
Bring the troops home!
Now!
Have a last-minute request from a veteran. Former President Dwight Eisenhower, who was also the commander of the Allies in World War II, once remarked, Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and not clothed. This world in arms is not spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. This is not a way of life at all in any true sense. Peace demands heroic thinking. Thank you.
Thank you.